Hey guys, it's Cash, and in this video I wanted to talk about the Dresden Files. Right now I'm actually reading Deadbeat, which is book 7 of the series, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm almost done with it, but before I came out with my review and discussion of, book 7 of a long series, I wanted to share my thoughts on the first 6 books. You can see them up there behind me. Deadbeat's missing, it's upstairs. I am reading it right now. Um, but like I said, before I came out with, a review and discussion of book 7 of a series, I wanted to have my thoughts out there on the first 6 books. Um, this is a non-spoiler. I'm pretty much going to do a little review on each of the first 6 books, share my rating on it, just to, cover my bases, cover my tracks here. It's a non-spoiler video. You have nothing to worry about if you haven't begun the Dresden Files, or if you're just curious about it, you have nothing to worry about. I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty too much. Really just want to share what I like and didn't like about each of the first 6. So that's enough stalling, and let's just get into it. We will start with Stormfront here. Stormfront, book 1 of the series. And these first couple are kind of cool because I think Jim Butcher actually wrote them when he was still a college student. So that's pretty interesting. Um, and, I'm more than likely not going to say anything you haven't heard before about these first couple books. They're only okay, and then the series really ramps up later on. However, I thought Butcher did a fine enough job in Stormfront if you're interested in starting the series. I do think he did a fine enough job in it to keep me interested in not so much the overall story, but the world and what he is building here, and kind of just the general concept of the story about a wizard existing in Chicago in our time, with fantasy elements still existing. I did watch Supernatural for a few years there. Really enjoyed that type of stuff, so this felt pretty natural for me. Um, I do understand the problems that people have with these first couple books, um, about some of the things that go on inside Harry's head. I 100% understand them, but for me, the plot and what it was entertaining enough. Stormfront was entertaining enough for me to it overshadowed those bad moments, those weird, strange moments in Harry's head. To me, the positive far outweighed the bad, far outweighed the negative of the book. I flew through it, read it in about 4 days. Thought it was really entertaining, real quick read. All of these things read super fast. This one gets a nice 3 out of 5 stars for me. 3 out of 5. And about my rating system, I've decided I am going to be going on a 5. The maximum is a 5, but I'm using 0.5s here. I'm using the halves, so you'll see some 3.5s, some 4.5s, 2.5s, and if it's really bad, you might even see a zero point 0.5. So I did want to, share my review system going forward. I have decided I will be going zero point 0.5 to 5 for my rating system. All right, book 2 in the series is Full Moon, and again, these first few books are very entertaining and do have a lot of good, but it is best to temper your expectations with them. Um, and honestly, to me, the series actually even goes backward before it goes forward. And what I mean is, Full Moon is probably my least favorite that I've read so far, and from what I've heard about people who've read or who are current with the series, that's probably going to stay that way. Um, One thing I do like about Full Moon is it does introduce some really key side characters that pop up in future books. So that's pretty cool. But overall, it's kind of just blah. This one gets a 2.5 for me. All right, book 3 in the series is Grave Peril, and this is the one that really improves a lot, in my opinion. This is where the series really picks up and improves. Um, we meet more beloved side characters who become fan favorites for some people and who pop up in future books. We meet a lot here. Um, we travel to certain places in this book for the first time that really opens up the world beyond just Chicago. You can really see Butcher's improvement as a writer here. Um, One thing about Grave Peril that I feel like doesn't get mentioned enough is, yeah, the case is really entertaining, and it is. It's the best one yet. Uh, but to me, this is where I really actually started to appreciate Murphy's character, Karen Murphy. Really, in the first 2 books, she was kind of annoying, and I didn't really like her character at all. And she seemed more of a hindrance than a asset. But really, in book 3 and spoiler alert, each book after that, I find myself liking her more and more. And it was this book that really opened my eyes to her. Grave Peril, nothing great, but it is really good, and I'm giving it a 3.5 out of 5. All right, book 4 in the series is Summer Nights, and it's this one that for a lot of people say it ramps up for them. And I understand why they say this. It's because, in my opinion, Butcher does his best world building so far in this story. Some characters and concepts are introduced that really make wizards, as we know it so far, seem weak and not as strong compared to them. And similar to Grave Peril, Butcher does a great job of opening up the world and opening up the story to being like, okay, there's problems in Chicago and there's monsters, that dwell in the dark, but there is so much more bigger picture stuff going on here than just Harry's little corner of the world. And Summer Night is the first time you really get a glimpse of it's not just the wizards in this world. There are, fairy courts and vampire courts and all sorts of things. Again, I'm not going to get into too many spoilers, but it's between Grave Peril and Summer Night. It really opens up the world. Summer Night does the world building a bit better, in my opinion. To me, it's a toss up on which one of between 3 and 4 I like better. Because, like I said over and over, the world building is great in Summer Night, but I believe I like the case more in Grave Peril, and overall just a little more entertaining, I think. So I am going to tie these two and also give this one a 3.5 out of 5. All right, now we're on Death Masks, Book 5. And for me, this is the one that's where the series took off for me personally. This is the one I was waiting for. This is the story I wanted. Some people say Summer Night got him. Some people say Grave Peril got him. For me, it was Death Masks. This is where Butcher got his. I was hooked on Butcher, if you will, when I decided to fully commit to this series. Before, I was kind of just piddle paddling around, reading one every so often, because they are quick. But Death Masks was when I decided, okay, no, I need to commit to this. Not every so often. I need to read one of these a month, if not more, until I get caught up. Because this book 5, Death Mask, it was just that good. Clearly, it's my favorite I've read so far. Um, Beloved side characters return in this book. New ones are introduced that are just awesome. Um, in my opinion, it's the best villains that we have seen in the series yet. It is the best case that Harry has had to work on so far. And overall, it is just awesome, incredible. 2 thumbs up, and I am giving it a nice 4 out of 5. All right, let's talk about Blood Rites. And at the time of this being filmed, it is the last one that I have read all the way through. And this is where a lot of people say the series goes backwards for them before it can go forward. And I do understand what they mean because simply it's very difficult to follow Death Masks, because, I mean, come on. However, I do think it gets a lot of unfair flack because it follows Death Masks. Um, while I understand the case in this isn't the best or most entertaining, uh, in fact, it's probably comparable to some of those first book as far as the case in it goes. Um, I thought this was the funniest book yet. I don't know. Butcher's comedic timing in this hit me every single time. Maybe I'm just twisted. I don't know. I thought Harry in this was hilarious. Um, all the jokes hit me right where they were supposed to. Um, and I don't know. I was laughing right out loud. I had my girlfriend looking at me like I was a crazy person, but I just thought it was that funny. Again, while not as good as Death Masks, I still have to give this one a 4 out of 5, simply because I thought it was the funniest one in the series so far, and I do think it gets a lot of unfair hate because it follows Death Masks, and Death Masks is so good. Um, but when people, put it with the, bottom feeders, Stormfront, Full Moon, I'm like, hold on, it's a lot better than those early books. So I do think it gets a lot of unfair hate. But yeah, I think I've rambled on enough about Blood Rites. So there you have it. Those are the ones I have fully read through as of yet. Honestly, by the time you're watching this, I'll have Deadbeat complete. But like I said before, I came out with a review and discussion of a 7th book in a long series. I wanted to get my thoughts out on the ones I read before starting the YouTube channel. So there you go, I guess. Let me know your thoughts in the Dresden Files in the comments, but please, no spoiler talk. Let me know where you are, your thoughts, if you're current with it. If I'm crazy for my thoughts and my rankings, let me know. how you rank these books. If you want to see my journey through the Dresden Files along with other great stories, please subscribe. If you want to support this video, do drop a like, and I will see you guys for the Deadbeat review. See ya.